Hello everybody, this is Sherry from djsundry.blogspot.com, and we are now on the third day of Christmas gift tags. So today it is 3 French hens, and so I'm using on page 34, I'm using the 3 French hens. Now I have found that the best one to use is the shadow feature when I'm looking for the words, because I'm only cutting these at 1.5 inches. And when you cut it at that small, the regular words are just too tiny and too delicate and they fall apart. So I'm using the shadow feature to get the words 3 French hens. I'm using the hen in the basket, and that is, I'm cutting them all out at 1.5 inches. Again, I'm using the Joys of the Seasons card. Now, to keep things consistent, I am also still using these shipping tags. But this time I've already got the tag all covered and ready to go, just to save a little bit of time. Now the paper that I'm using, again, I pulled from my scraps, and this is from last year's paper from K & Company. And I had 2 different books of this. One of them had some glossy accent pages, or glossy accent embossing on it, and the other one didn't. Now the one that had the glossy embossing on it, kind of mixed in, on one side was plaid. The one that did not on the other side was just this red, almost kind of a subtle holly berry color. So the color I chose for my background where my words are is a similar plain holly color, that or like a berry or wine color. So I've already put these on my tags. This is the front, this is the back. So I already have that ready to go, and I'm going to show you the next step. Now, if you remember on the second day of Christmas tags that we did, I showed you how to heat emboss with a Versamark over the words. And this one I wanted a similar effect, only I didn't want to emboss it. I didn't want the raised, but this side of the tag definitely needed something more. So I went back through my stash, and this is the Monarch set from Ink Boutique, and I chose this flourish and this flourish, and I put them back to back on my stamping block. And again, I'm going to use Versamark to ink that up. And this time we are not going to emboss it. We are going to just simply stamp that on there. And what it does is it makes the pattern look, or the paper look like it was actually pattern paper. Again, I'm not too particular, just like yesterday. I want to be sure that as much as the flourish that I can get on there is on there, but some of it will go off the edges of my mat, and I'm really okay with that. I'm also okay if I don't get it pressed as firmly in some places as the other, because I think that just kind of adds to the charm and gives it that variegated pattern paper look. And so as I think the camera probably picks up just that subtle variation there, and that actually will stay. Even when it's dried, you can still see that, and it just gives it like a watermark effect on it. So I'm just cleaning off my stamp here so I can set it aside and it won't dry. Now Versamark stays wet longer than, it's more like a pigment ink in the length of time that it stays wet. And because I want to move on with my project and get it finished up, I'm just going to hit it real quick with the heat gun. Now there's nothing there that's raising or anything like that. The only reason I did it is because I wanted to try to dry it just a little bit more quickly so that I can go ahead and work on the other side. Now, when I did the 3 French hens, I wanted to keep it simple, and I wanted it to be the coordinating paper that I use. I wanted to use the other side of it and make it coordinate. However, that created a problem, and you'll see that in just a minute as we put these down. As I turn again, this today, instead of using glue, what I'm using is my I decided to go ahead this time and pull out my 1.5 inch Xyron box and turn all of these little pieces into the sticker. Now the little French hen in the basket is actually two different cuts. You cut out the piece has a basket, it has all of it in, and I cut that in yellow, and then you go back and recut it in your basket color to get the wattle and the bow and the basket itself. I think that's called a wattle, I'm not even sure. But what I discovered after I put, and this is, I'm making three sets of these as I make these, and what I discovered when I put these on together is, honestly, I think it's a little bit too busy. And it's very kind of difficult to read the words. So one thing I tried to do to help that out a little bit is I took my Zig pen and I used the fine tip side, and I just did some penciling in the middle. I don't know if it really helps. I do like the effect that it gives on the basket, and I'll just finish that up real quick. I didn't do it to the hen, I just wanted to do it to the basket. And then I have this piece of willow ribbon that I cut. This is from giftsinternational.com, and if you've never been to their site, you should really go see it, because they have great ribbon prices and a lot of other stuff. But anyway, so this is how it turned out, and I still am not thrilled with the way that you just don't get enough contrast. One thing I'm going to do to try to make it a little bit stand out just a little bit more is I have clear rock candy stickles here, and I'm just going to go over the words. I don't want to go over the basket. I'm fine with that being muted. Now the clear rock candy, you know, it almost leaves the same effect as glossy accents. Oh, and it blobs out every once in a while. I have found this little pick that you use with your Cricut, that comes with your Cricut tool set, to be very valuable when I'm dealing with these stickles, because this particular one, I seem to have problems with it globbing out. But anyway, as I was saying, it reminds me very much of glossy accents. Only it may be just a little more muted than glossy accents ends out being, and I don't know. This did not quite turn out exactly the way I wanted, but I think it's still a pretty tag, and I really like the background paper. I love the green, and I don't know, for some reason it says French to me. I don't know why. I've never been to France, and it's not, you know, your blue toile type things or French country patterns. I don't know what it is, but to me it just said France, and that's why I chose it. So probably, if anybody's been to France, they know that I'm probably way off base here, but I just like the idea of it with this paper, and I do like the way it turned out. I think, you know, another thing maybe we could do to bring some more interest to it is, let's just take our pen and just do some tick marks around the edge there. That makes it look better. That just kind of finishes it off, gives it just a little bit of finish. So as you can see, this is an evolving process. You just do what looks good to you until it looks right, and you just keep adding or taking away if you need to take away what needs added to and taken away. And I really should have thought of that earlier, because that does kind of help finish it off, and it just gives the words kind of a muted look, but that's okay, it still looks good. So we've just about got it finished there. And there is our 3 French hens. So remember that we have a good giveaway going on. So if you go to my blog at djsundry.blogspot.com, you can see ways to enter the giveaway. And I am periodically each day adding, some days I don't, but some days I add an extra question. And if you answer that, that gives you another entry chance for the blog. And I'm giving away a great Cricut cartridge. Now what if you don't have a Cricut? Well, don't worry about it. If you don't have a Cricut, I will contact you, and if you're the winner, and I'll have an alternate prize if you don't have a Cricut. So there is the tag for the 3rd day of Christmas. Come back tomorrow and let's see what 4 calling birds have for us. Thanks, and have a great day.